write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
With good laws.
Proper funding.
Training.
And cooperation.
If it happens.
If it happens.
If it's happened.
My people, make una hear o. Coronavirus wey they call COVID-19 don't enter with your bodo Naija. Make you for stay safe so that this sickness no go come your domot. Make you wash your hand with soap and water. Or the thing wey oyibo they call alcohol-based sanitizer, and maintain at least 1.5 meter distance between you and the person wey get cough or the sneeze. If you notice say you get cough, catarrh, high fever, chest pain, or any nyama disease wey not gree go on time, make you know say na the symptoms with that o. Call this number 0703 521 1919 0811 969 6110 and 0904 557 5515. And make you not do self-medicate and make you stay away from place where people plenty. Again, make you make sure say if you walk cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and your nose with tissue paper. When you finish, throw away and put inside dustbin. No use dirty hand, pick your nose, eyes, and remember, no use social media, send wrong informate and lie. We go put fear for people body. I beg, spread the message. We go bring better solution to this matter. This message now from Akwa Ibom State government.
All right, it's Center Point AM for 5. Many thanks for staying with us on the program. On this session of the program, I get to be joined by some Akwa Ibom people who live in the diaspora, and they are here to join us reveal on the 34th anniversary of Akwa Ibom State. So all what we're going to be talking about on this session is Akwa Ibom, Akwa Ibom, Akwa Ibom. That's right. If you're proud of your state, you talk about it like they are going to be doing. Let me allow you to meet them. These are my guests on the program. You get to see them. First of all, let me introduce the president of Akwa Ibom State Association of Nigeria, United States of America, Mr. Itoro Akpan-Iquot. Okay, you get to see him. You get to see our guests, all right? Also, just beside him, we have Mrs. Uwem Inyang. Mrs. Uwem Inyang is the National Vice President of Akwa Ibom State Association of Nigeria, that's AKISAN. She's also the Chairperson, Board of Trustees of Ford Ukwa Association, United States of America. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. All right. The third person is Mrs. Itawan James. She is the Treasurer of the Akwa Ibom State Association of Nigeria, that's AKISAN, United States of America. Mrs. Itawan James, thanks for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Okay, let me begin with the president. Let me begin with the three of you. 23rd September 1987, where were you then? How did it feel, when that announcement was made? Akwa Ibom is officially a state. Let the president start.
So first of all, thanks for the opportunity to have us on here.
Okay.
I was in JS3 at the Federal Government College, Ikwere. I was in a class when the teacher paused and made the announcement that Akwa Ibom State was created. And we were so happy, we were jumping, clapping. In fact, I think that day the principal called off classes to celebrate that day. And I remember it very vividly.
What was your perception then?
Well, I was 13 years old at the time. I didn't really grasp the true meaning of it.
Okay.
But then again, I remember we used to live in Calabar. We used to travel to what they used to call the mainland. And so finally having a place that we call home was something that I was very proud of.
Okay. For you, Mrs. Inyang, how did you feel? Where were you?
Yes, September 1987, I had actually relocated by that time to the United States.
Okay.
So that I heard of the news and the excitement in the air, and it was a big thing. I can recall that. It was a big thing. My family, people were just talking about it. And those memories are still vivid.
Okay. What for you? What was the significance? What did it mean?
It meant so much because a lot of everything was Calabar. I mean, school, university, and this was having the opportunity to have our own state, and seeing the developments and the expectation, the hope that was going to be part of us living in our own territory and environment and building it to make it what we want it to be. So that was something to look forward to.
Okay. Let me allow Mrs. James reveal her moment back then.
Thank you for again having us here on this program. Yes, as September 23rd, 1987, I was still a young girl. I had graduated from high school then. And then when there was the news that we have Akwa Ibom State, the Akwa Ibom State creation, I was happy like every other person, even though I did not actually understood what it really meant. But I remember when I called my late uncle before then, and he sat me down and said, this is about development.
Okay.
I know I was born and bred in Calabar, Cross River State, so I was happy, a city girl, But then we used to come to Akwa Ibom back and forth. So I'm like, okay, are we going to relocate to Akwa Ibom State? So, I mean, for me, as a young girl, that fear of unknown. But then when my uncle sat me down and my parents told us the importance of having your own state, your own. So I understood and I joined in the excitement, and I'm still very happy that we had our own state, at least our own identity.
Okay, our own state, our own identity. Now, 34 years down the line, let me begin with you. 34 years down the line, how do you think we've fared? What's your perception of us as an entity?
It's so interesting when I look at how far we've come. It's very impressive. It's a great joy. Because I remember, I was very young when I went to the States, but then I still remember growing up here back then when the development wasn't what it is now. And the roads and all of that and the electricity, grew up in a place that in the street, probably one house will have the television, and you'll see the children hanging on the windows to look at the television in that house. So now we transition to a place that every house, almost in the city here, has a television. Even in the villages, there is the different vibe in life. We've seen so much happening. Every governor that has come in has done tremendously great. The transitions, the roads, the businesses, it's a big change from what it was in the 34 years ago. So every step, every governor has impacted this state in a very big way that has brought in the development that we've seen, the infrastructure, the school, it's boosting the economy. Now Akwa Ibom is a place on the map. People are talking about Akwa Ibom, even in Nigeria and outside. So there is so much that I can say about the change. It's obvious. And it's such a joy to be a part of this state.
Okay, before I allow your colleagues to talk about their perception of Akwa Ibom at 34, when you hear people talk about Akwa Ibom, how does it make you feel?
Oh, I am so proud of Akwa Ibom. Even back in the United States, Akwa Ibom people know us, and Akwa Ibom is a state with its own culture. Our people are so unique. We have a tremendous cuisine, the food, that nothing comes second to it. And even back in the United States, I mean, AKISAN, we are an organization that we try to maintain these fundamental things about Akwa Ibom. So our culture plays a big role, even back there. And a lot of the dances, mpopo, we still dance them over there.
So basically, you're proud of your state. Whenever
Very proud of
we talk about it, whenever people talk about it.
Yes.
Okay. We'll come back to talk about our culture and all of that. Let me allow the president to talk about, 34 years down the lane. What's your perception? What was it like years back and then now?
So I'm from Uwem, and of course, I used to visit mainland frequently. And I remember many of the roads we used to have back then were like sand roads. So I've been from when everything was all about Ibom connection. We only had those 5 main roads to now where some parts of Uyo I can't even recognize. The streets, the mindset of the people, the infrastructure, the 21, all these things were, of course, never there before. So I've been fortunate to see that development pretty much from day one, and I am very impressed.
Okay, the 5 main roads, which are they?
Back around, and there's a 5th one I can't remember. But they're all sprouted from Ibom connection.
Okay.
And those were the main roads at the time.
Okay.
But now with so many connections, I mean, it's tough.
Even know where.
Yeah.
Where to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for you, Mrs. James.
Yes, I would say that the 34 years of Akwa Ibom existence is impressive. We started from somewhere and we are heading somewhere. Yes, when we started at 34 years, Akwa Ibom is no longer a baby, not a toddler, but a full-blown adult. And so there are certain expectations of an adult person. And so, yes, there has been some improvements, like my colleagues earlier said. We've witnessed transition from military governance to civilian. So it's been different successions as we make good transition. Each governor bring in something tremendously well. And so we are building on what was built, how we started. And so it's impressive. Yes, we are hoping for the best, and there is still room for improvement. And so looking at 5 years from now, there will be more improvement, and improvement, we will not regress. Instead, we will make steady, sustainable progress as a state and as a people.
So basically, if I were to ask your submission, your perception of Akwa Ibom at 34, you would say,
I'm happy,
okay,
but I could be happier.
Okay. Your perception of Akwa Ibom at 34?
So when I was here last time, I said, I give it an A. Why not an A+? Because like she said, I feel we have much better ways to go. But right now, I give it an A.
Okay.
Akwa Ibom has done great, but it can do much better. And absolutely, I look forward to another 5 years of great improvements to take us to where we're heading to.
Okay. Now, talking about making Akwa Ibom better, do you think the people have a role to play in all of this?
Oh, yes. I believe that any community that grows through its people. Nothing happens but through the people, the leadership, the whole process. So it has to be intentional and strategic. So goals have to be set. We have to have plans, a 1-year plan, 5-year plan. Countries have 20-year plans. And these are targeted programs to bring in the growth.
Okay.
And there is the mindset of the people. People have to be brought in to understand the process of development and growth. And it takes a lot with creating awareness with the people and carrying the community along. So it takes the whole process of people.
Okay. Now to Mr. Akpan-Iquot, you know, when people, basically the masses want to talk, they usually say government in a month. When a government, what about the people? For you, what do you think the masses can do to make Akwa Ibom better?
Well, for me, I guess two main things. Number one, we need to be united. Strength and unity. When we're united, we all go in one direction. Number two, we need to change our mindset. When we all think negatively, like I said, government in here, it's like a negative energy you're sending out there. Besides, government cannot do it all. So if we train ourselves mentally to believe we can be better, which is why I like the Dakada philosophy, we will be better. Maybe not today, but like she said, it's a plan, 5-10 years down the road, but eventually we will get there.
Okay.
Yeah, let me piggyback on that. Unity. Because when I can't trust the other person, then we can't work together. We have to create a trusting relationship for us to work together. And then the mindset, like you just said, government in a you know. So we have to move from that mindset, depending government. And who is the government? We are the people. We, Akwa Ibom State, we are the Akwa Ibom State. So looking at government, I'm making the government, and you give them more government. We are all government. So if we bring in our quota and work together, then we will achieve a lot. Now, yes, the mindset that we're talking about, okay, government, contract, politics. No, we need to move away from that and become our own, be self-reliant, become our own boss. You know, create jobs for other people. Let's say, oh, government, no jobs. What can I do to create jobs for other people? Even if I can employ 2 people, I've done something. But then also looking at government leadership, because we need enabling environment. And so if we have enabling environment, unity, and a change of mindset, I want to end that living. I want to do it. So I think with all of that in place, we can move beyond where we are right now.
Okay. Now, let me get to Mr. Akpan-Iquot before I get to Mrs. Inyang again. Now, talking about, you brought up the issue of unity. Now, why do we need to stay united as a state? What will be the gains? And first, and how can we stay united?
Okay, so the benefits of unity are enormous. So like I said initially, when we're united, we all think together. The issue of trust comes in. We all trust each other. We can now all sit down. We have one purpose. We are united for, let's say, the development of Akwa Ibom State. How do we get there? There's less strife in that process. So unity is very important. I believe when I was a kid, there used to be this story of the father brought the child a broomstick and they broke it very easily. Then they brought an entire broom and it was impossible to break. So we need to be like that broom, because if we're not, then external forces can come in, cause that disunity, and we will never get to where we need to be.
So what are those things we can do to stay united?
For one, we need to be proud of our culture. It also starts with the children. If we feed our children negative energy, they grow up with that, and that continues. We also need to respect one another. We need to respect the diversity in opinions. Just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean that you don't like me or you don't want what is good for the state. So we listen to everybody. So those are a few examples.
Okay. Mrs. Inyang, what can we do to stay united? Because unity is one word we can't do without if we want Akwa Ibom to grow stronger.
Yes, unity is one word that we can't do without, like you said. And unity is something that we learn, is a learned behavior. Learning, I look at it this way. It starts even as a child. So this is something, it just doesn't happen one day. But I look at it like, even as parents, we have a lot to do with developing our children, with the mindset that we create in them, even as children, as they begin to grow up. And so how did we get to some of the places we are here? It's the way, the perception of life growing up. So if people think life is step on one another, it's always going to go that way. But if people are taught that we work collaboratively, we can do better. So one thing that I'm saying is parents have a responsibility, even to the little children. Then as adults, we have a responsibility to ourselves. It's a collective good of the society. And if we look at it from that perspective, we will be empowered to always focus on what can benefit us as a people. You know, unity. It's hard to maintain unity when people are very self-centered, very selfish. Whatever they want is for themselves. But when the common good of the general community is focused on, it's easy, you know, to talk to people. And I say one thing, a lot has to do with the change of the mindset, and that is creating awareness. So these are very important. We need forums that can tune to the minds of the people to begin to teach people to see things from a different perspective, not from the usual norms of I want it today, you know. These are all the things that help to build the unity that can exist even between us as sisters, friends, and to the larger territory of a community.
All right. We had already talked about what the masses can do for the growth of the state. I didn't just want to start with the leaders. I didn't want to start asking your expectations of leaders. We have leaders at various strata, from the grassroots to the top there. What are your expectations? We'll keep having leaders. Every year, leaders will come, leaders will go. What are your expectations? What can leaders do to contribute to the growth of our state? I would need your... let me begin with Mr. Akpan-Iquot. Let me get your submission on that, because you are a leader in your own designation.
Yes. So number one, we need to lead by example. Leaders need to be servants of the people. With respect to the government, any government in general, they need to create an enabling environment for things to thrive. I think the show that was on previously talked about, like Victor, planting the seed. So the leaders need to plant the seeds. They need to nurture that seed so that it grows into, let's say, a tree and yields the fruit.
Okay. You have anything to add to that concerning the leaders, especially from the grassroots?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up reading a book, The Trials of Brother Jero. And then it says there are leaders and there are leaders. There are leaders and there are leaders. Some leaders are inherent, they are born with that traits. Some are quiet, learn along the way. Yes, what makes a good leader is if you have both inherent traits and then acquired, because as you move on in life, you see things differently. The awareness, the perception. So you build that into two. And so a leader that sees himself that even though I'm a leader, I'm serving the people. The mindset that you bring, that I'm here for my people, not here for myself, for my family, or just that recognition, the title, but someone who is there to serve and listen to the people and carry the people along. I also read a book, The Spirit Level, by Wilkinson and Pickett. And in that book, it says that a government who cannot provide basic infrastructures for his people or the community is a failed government. And so a government that would listen, that will see to the needs of the people, those needs are met. That is the kind of leadership that will thrive.
Okay.
And that's what we are looking for.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about Akwa Ibom people in diaspora. Let me start with the president. You know, people look up so much to you that have been up there in other developed societies, now people think, okay, they should come back and give back, whether it's your due or not. Now, how would you say Akwa Ibom people in diaspora could contribute to the growth of their state?
Okay, so I guess there are a few ways that come to mind. So number one is, many of us, like you said, they say come back and invest. Many of us have businesses here.
Okay.
Many of us also support people here. I think when I was here the last time, I might have mentioned Nigeria in general. Every year we send home about $30 billion, right? Akwa Ibom people are part of that process. So we're also in that way contributing to the development of the state. The way we promote our culture, like we had the annual convention in August. For the, I guess, second time, we put it out online for everybody to see. So by seeing that, people here can now see, oh, we actually don't only move there, but we also continue with our culture. So we also bring what we've learned from the United States, for example, back to Akwa Ibom State, integrate that into the process and make it better.
Okay. What impact do you think you make as a group? Whenever, for instance, the conventions, whenever you come to meet together, Akwa Ibom people, what impact do you think has been made?
So number one is the sense of pride that as Akwa Ibom people, we've gone far. So like AKISAN, just like Akwa Ibom State, is 34 years old.
Okay.
We've started, as a baby, and like she said, we're now an adult. We also provide opportunities to network. This year, I'm not going to say it's for the first time, but I would say it's one of the rare opportunities where I presented the SSG who was there on behalf of the government with business opportunities to bring home. Okay. So for example, there's a guy back there who is into the manufacturing of cell phones, tablets and laptops. There's another person who is the president of the Board of Books for Africa. I believe that as we speak, there's an agreement to be able to provide quite 500,000 books. So those are two of the areas in terms of business opportunities to bring back home.
Okay. For you, Mrs. Inyang, you are the National Vice President, AKISAN. You're also the Chairperson, Board of Trustees of Akwa Association. Now, with most of these associations of Akwa Ibom people in different nomenclature, different denominations, we have the Mbugo. What impact? Why is it necessary to have such, organizations?
Yes. Akwa Ibom, you see, AKISAN is the larger umbrella. Then we have the subgroups, like the Forokwa, the Mbogo, and all of that. And together, we work as a force to encourage the Akwa Ibom people in the diaspora, in the different things we do as professionals, as in our different fields, to build the culture and raise our young ones who will continue with the culture of Akwa Ibom and what it stands for. And even at that, we transcend to where we do things to impact our people here. For instance, during the COVID, a lot of these associations, be it the subgroup, we sent the palatables to the different communities that we come from here as small groups. And that was an impact. Then the larger AKISAN, we have what we're doing, like a skill acquisition project here. But then as small groups to the subgroups. So even like the Forokwa, we had helped to renovate the OPD of our hospital, that department. So we all do Mbogo. We have the medical missions that they've come here different times, the women's group, AKISAN as a whole. So that's what we do as subgroups and as the larger organization. We impact ourselves there, we retain our culture, and we also see what we can do to benefit our homeland.
Okay. I'll come back to take you on what you're doing to retain our culture back there. Let me ask Mrs. James. Right. Let me ask Mrs. James. Would you love to chip into that? What do you think is the impact of the various associations that we have in diaspora?
Yes, it's been very impactful in that the various organizations all identified themselves as Akwa Ibom people. So when we have our annual convention, they come in, they support the main organization.
Okay.
And so contributing, donating money, equipment, time, resources, what have you. And so we also at different times come in to invest or do things in our community back home. Even in the US, we have many organizations, either as community organization or social clubs. I belong to one of them. For instance, my name is Itawan James. I co-founded an organization where 11 women, and we call ourselves Kindest Heart Sisters. Even post-COVID, we came down and impacted about 138 people in 8 local government areas. So we are doing things. Some of these things are unannounced because we don't want that recognition. We're just doing it for the love of our people. And so we've done things either in school, renovating schools, at our hospital, and then we have also help in orphanage, paying school fees for different people. And there are so many women organizations in Dallas, California, wherever, so many of them. So all of those things are still us trying to help, to give back to the community. And I've been a part of several medical missions that we've come here to help. I mean, that is still in the area of healthcare, creating awareness, health promotion and maintenance. So we've done a lot as AKISAN, as Akwa Ibom people.
Okay, all right. Now back to Mrs. Inyang. First of all, if I ask you what you're doing to retain the culture and all of that, are you proud of your culture? Are you proud to be an Akwa Ibom daughter?
Wow. Very proud. Can't even say it. Because Akwa Ibom people are beautiful people, inside out. The culture is great. I mean, if you look at the way even our outfits, our dressings is so special. And a lot of people, even back over in the States, you see a lot of our American friends, the outfit, they love it when they see it. I mean, when we have like the AKISAN and we have all these pictures, I know when I take it to my colleagues and they're like, oh my goodness, how can I have this outfit? Do
you ever wear them to church, for instance?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I go to an American church and I wear my outfit and people love it. People love it. I've given some to friends that are Americans and they wear them too.
Okay.
And so, I mean, our culture is so diverse and great. Then we have our songs, very, very meaningful in our own dialect, our language. That is something I remember my children, I mean, even when they were babies, we speak our language with them.
Oh.
Yes, because we knew that when they go to school, it's English. And that's the reason my daughter speaks my language. But yeah, my son can understand it, but not really speak much. Guys are different. Yes. But because there is value in that language for me. And I speak it more than even English. It's so amazing. Even when we have meetings, I like my language, so I speak it a lot.
Okay.
So, and I mean, so the food, our dances, so many aspects of our culture. And not even that, honestly, Akwa Ibom people are very kind-hearted people. When I look at us compared to other, human beings, we are very kind-hearted. Yes, we still have a few, but I'm saying generally. And we care for one another. Even when we're out there, we care for one another. So that's part of the cultural aspect that we've grown up with. Okay. And we try to retain that.
Okay. Let me get to Mrs. James. What do Akwa Ibom people do to retain their culture?
Number one, speaking the language.
Okay.
But we can do better. Because even I am one person that I want to see another time, and President, please take note, that the next coming convention, whoever the MC is, should speak Ibibio, Anna, Oron, anything.
So you're telling us everything happened in, English?
Yes.
It's mixed up.
Sometimes it's mixed up.
Okay.
But I do attend Igbo
functions.
They don't care whether you're an American or not. They speak Igbo.
Okay.
They don't care even when they invited you to come and donate money. It's only when it's time for you to donate money, they will speak to you in English so you understand what they're talking about. But outside that, it's Igbo. So even someone has asked me that question, how come this is Akwa Ibom thing and it's English? So we need to improve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for reporting the president.
On live television.
I'm not reporting him, but I'm trying to let him see. Let's enforce that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, speaking to our children at home, and then there is one young lady born in Akwa Ibom, born in America.
Okay.
Annie Asian. And she's just developed this software, is it? App. Eco.
Okay.
And that's the child who was born in the US. So teaching the younger ones
how to speak the language.
Anna or whatever, yes. Though she's piloting the Ibibio.
Okay.
And now, but at least there's going to be some progress along the way. So that's looking at that a child that was born in the US is doing that. And yet us adults, because I'm guilty now. I'm supposed to be saying it. But I mean sometimes so so that he makes sure yet if we talk to somebody outside of Akwa Ibom, yes, I mean, let's be respectful and use the language that the person can understand. Yes. But when we are amongst ourselves, either in informal situation or gathering, I mean, let's encourage that. So if we do that, yes, that language will not be extinct. Okay. We want to keep it alive. Okay. And so that the next generation can also thrive and then uphold it. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Back to the president. How do you think people perceive us as an entity, as Akwa Ibom people? What's the perception?
So, I guess locally or internationally?
Internationally.
Okay, so internationally, with respect to AKISAN in particular, I can tell you that among all the tribes that have organizations that we are put in a very high regard, we're the most organized, we're the most united in terms of what we do. Okay. We do promote our culture very well. Our food is known nationwide, internationally, as a matter of fact. Our clothes, if you see many people other than the dashikis of South Africa, next is going to be what we wear. So we're very good at that. So the perception, I'd say, is very high.
Okay. For you, how would you describe the perception of others about us?
Oh, friends, colleagues, people that I talk to, I tell them I'm from Akwa Ibom. And if it's Nigerians, even, I mean, because Akwa Ibom is a big thing in Nigeria. And it's hard not to meet somebody that knows about Akwa Ibom, that is the Nigerian. Honestly, we're on top. So that even back there, like the president said, AKISAN is one of the top organizations. I mean, very structured, and it's amazing. We have about, 35 chapters all over the United States, and we have a strong structure. So the perception is that we are very forthcoming people. We know what we want, and we have taken it from Akwa Ibom State to the United States. And I think AKISAN, United States is one of the countries that you will see the strength that we have as AKISAN organization. And like I said, we have our imprint, 35 chapters is not a joke. And we're so strong together. So the perception of people is that we are a very united group, you know, and unity, like we said before, is strength. Okay. And what does it do? Progress.
Okay.
I can piggyback on that. Yeah. Yes, people perceive us very highly. Their rating is very high. Because they see us as people who are very straightforward, very respectful. And of course, is it our food? They know we love to cook and we cook well. And they see us as people who are very graceful. Not too aggressive, although being aggressive is good, but not extremely aggressive, but still graceful. Right in the US, people are rushing to marry our children. The Igbos, the Yorubas, even the Americans are rushing to marry our children. Why? Because they've seen that we are a force to reckon with. So they really rate us high. Even back in the US, I have a family that was looking for a job for a sister who finished from the university and wanted to come to Akwa Ibom State to do youth service. I'm like, why do you consider youth service? Why don't you go? Oh no, Akwa Ibom is the place to go. That's what she told me. And these people are from Delta, Edo State. Oh, Akwa Ibom is where to go. So when I'm in the US and somebody in the US is telling me that, then
somebody
I know,
from another state.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
that
yes.
is
And
true.
this is real. Yeah,
It's real.
so we are being rated very high. Yes, even though some people here may not think so, but that's why I encourage people like the Agama Lisa says, if he falls from the Iroko tree and nobody says thank you, I will thank myself. Had walk is up. Me call me more. Yeah, he call me them more. Kiminam. Some people you may not see or think you've done something. Kiminam boy, you call me them again. At 34. But yeah, in my phone kanami.
At 35, so before I let you go, I want to do something special. Either you sing, either the meya kwaikwo, meya tumke, kembimbio. You know, for the work and get a work, the Yanto, you miss.
Okay, so yeah, you know, okay. Mrs. James, right? Okay.
Yes, Mrs. James.
Ekonke. Ekwongodong burokobo. Yeah. Iba get young. Iba nedia we subu.
Oh. Okay. The president. Okay.
Ekonke.
Keko basi.
Pangpang bezon kumbong itong.
Wow.
Diamboy bem for kumke bu.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Akwa Ibom at 34. Yeah, Akwa Ibom come abasi.
Pombo.
Me come governor Nyenetieti, Governor Odumi Manduma. Bring us this far. Yeah, our first lady. In fact, I should have mentioned, I saw it the other day, the FEREP.
Okay.
Program that she's doing, which is awesome. Yes, for girls, guys, young people, every person. So young boy,
okay.
Abas your funnel, abas your fun, abas your fun. Hey, your fun, yen.
All right. Okay.
That's funny, Akwa Ibom.
That's right. I want to thank you all so very much for having been part of the program as we revealed some lovely, moments about Akwa Ibom, some lovely stories about Akwa Ibom State. Thank you so very much for having been part of the program. You want to say something?
No, just want to say thank you so much for having us. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. The rest of Centerpoint AM 45 continues. Our guest just mentioned FEREP and what they've been doing. We have a guest in the house who has a group that have been a beneficiary of the impact of FEREP. That's who we're going to meet when we come after this time out. Just stay with us on the program.